Welcome back to Love Your Lettering. Today we'll talk about beginning brush lettering using your basic handwriting or penmanship. For this demonstration, I'm using the Tombow Fudenosuke Soft Tip Pen. Brush lettering can refer to any style of lettering or penmanship that's done with a brush pen tool or paintbrush. When beginning to learn brush lettering, I recommend that you use your natural handwriting or print or cursive penmanship, because what you're doing is building your muscle memory to learn how to give heavy pressure on the downstrokes and lighten the pressure on the upstrokes. This style is a basic print alphabet using the heavy and light pressure changes of the brush pen. I'm working at a slight slant and just concentrating on that pressure change. As I reach the transition points, I will taper the pressure to help soften those transitions. Smooth tapered transitions takes time. This is all about building the muscles that help make it a little bit easier. Remember that portions of the letters that intersect, you want to have contrasting weights intersecting each other. So if you have a heavy downstroke, you'll want to cross it with a light upstroke. It's more appealing to the eye. Next, I'll use the same principles with a cursive alphabet. Here I'm going to have each of my letters connect as it normally does in a script hand. The only other thing to keep in mind while you're working on those pressure changes is keeping the same slant for your letters. It helps with the readability. When I first started lettering with a brush pen, I took with me the principles that I had learned with copper plate calligraphy for varying the pressure of the different strokes. So my basic style of brush lettering really does resemble more regular cursive writing with just those weighted downstrokes and hairline upstrokes. I always tend to practice lowercase or minuscule letters first in my exercises. The same downstroke and upstroke changes can be applied to the numbers. Next up is uppercase or majuscule print. This is a 4mm graph notebook, and I find that with this size pen, using 3 boxes high tends to be a nice comfortable height. And using 3 boxes, I cross my letters at the 2/3 mark. Just as we talked about in the first section of the Love Your Lettering series with altering your penmanship, where you cross those letters really does change the style, and it's such a simple change. Now we move to cursive and the capital letters. I know they're no one's favorites. The cursive style that I use is a blend of Palmer and Zinarian style script. It doesn't matter which style of script you use, you can still change the pressure of your downstrokes and upstrokes to achieve this look. I'll also show you a couple of variations for some of the more tricky letters. I know the Q is not a favorite. Here's another way of doing it. It's more of an O with a tail. And if you don't like this style of H, try another one. When differentiating between the I and the J, I make sure that my descending tail really dips below the baseline. Sometimes I like to vary my capital E as well, to make it stand out a little more depending on the word I'm using it in or the portion of the finished piece that it's going to be part of. And if you don't like this old-fashioned G, you can go ahead and change it up using some of the same strokes of a lowercase g. Just make sure that that descending line doesn't go too far below the baseline to make it look like a minuscule or lowercase letter. So go ahead and give a brush pen a try using any style of lettering that you feel most comfortable with. Next time, we'll change it up a little bit with more modern brush calligraphy. To find more penmanship and lettering instruction, visit creatively.com/loveyourlettering.